So how is everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing well. Um, it's Monday afternoon, May 4th, 2020. Today is a very special day for me because today marks 10 years. 10 years clean and sober for me. 10 years. Um, 10 years ago today, I made a conscious decision to change my life and kind of get back what God had ordained for me to have, you know, and that is a life of peace of mind and living life on life on life's terms. I have never really shared this this part of my life publicly. Because to be perfectly honest with y'all, you know what I'm saying, I kind of really wanted to reach this point. I wanted to reach this 10 years because it means a lot, it's some double digits as they say. Um, so yeah, I am a recovering addict, and it's been 10 years since I've had a drink or a drug or any of the things that I used to do that was destroying my body, that was destroying my mind, that was destroying my family, and my way of life. I know to some of y'all, you're probably surprised, because you look at my timeline and you look at my posts and you look at a person and you don't know what a person is really going through unless they share it with you. Sometimes people's lives through social media can portray something totally different than what's really going on in their lives. But I have to say that from the moment that I decided to really change my life and get myself together, it's only been blessings. It's been blessing after blessing after blessing. You know what I'm saying? Now the truth of the matter is that this could actually be 12 years for me. But back in 2008, I things had gotten really so bad, so bad for me that that the drugs and alcohol was telling me that although I had a family and nice home and cars and the material things, the drugs and alcohol was telling me that I would much rather live on the streets, and not go home, rather just get high or drunk or whatever. The thing is, I was more or less a drug addict than an alcoholic. I didn't drink that much, but it wasn't too much of a drug that I wouldn't do. From coke to crack, weed, popping pills, I did it, and I did a lot of it. To where it really, it destroyed me. It got me real bad. But I digress a little bit. 2008, I was out on a binge, and I had been gone from home for about a week, just out, doing what I do. And I came home, and my wife at the time, she had an 800 number for me to call to get some help. And I knew I had a problem, And so, me knowing who I was and what I had become, and knowing where I did not want to continue going down that spiral. I made the phone call, and at first I went to, it's kind of a program to where you would go and you would learn about addiction and, your problems and things like that. But it really didn't work for me because I would go to these classes during the day and I would still get high at night. So it didn't really, it didn't work out. And so at that time my counselor told me that, they thought that I should go into an inpatient facility. And so they referred me to this program. It was a government funded program, a place called Trinity House on 21 Bell Street, Atlanta, Georgia. So they referred me to it, and it took me, it took me about another week or two before I decided that I really, really needed to do something a little bit more drastic for my issues. Um, so, I after being out again, binging, um, made that phone call to this facility, and at the time they didn't have any beds available, and so I had to wait a couple more days, and then they reached out to me and told me that they had a bed available, and I had to come, right then and there, and so I did. Initially, I was only, supposed to be there for um, what 30 days. Those 30 days turned to 90 days, and I eventually ended up being in this facility for 2 years. It was a 24-month program. Um, Now, I don't want you guys to think that I was just gone and away from my family and things like that. It was actually, it was really actually only 10 or 15 minutes around the corner from my house. But, it was a wonderful, wonderful program. And, what I'm saying, in this program, during this program, I got a job, and I was able to still, take care of things at home. I was able to help my wife with with bills, and I was able to see my girls, my family. After being in there for 90 days, I was able to see my family every weekend. Um, and so that's how that went down, what I'm saying. So I did that, for 2 years, what I'm saying. Um, and the program was so intense. It was an Afrocentric program. Um, I learned so much about myself and about my addiction, and this thing why this thing set down so heavy on me, and not my peers and not my friends, the people that I was hanging around, who I was also getting high with, what I'm saying, and doing the things that I was doing with, but I was the one that it grabbed a hold to, and but I learned a lot about myself, a lot of things when it comes to addiction. It um, it stems from childhood issues. Um, I had a lot of issues that I had to deal with that I hadn't faced. I'm an only child, and so I held a lot of things in. What I'm saying. I didn't express myself that well, and so as a result of it, um, instead of me expressing things exteriorly, I would put things interiorly into my body to help numb issues or things that I didn't really want to feel or go through. Um, I was dealing with things, with like, what I'm saying, I had my relationship with my mother at the time, and issues that I was having, as I had gotten older, with my marriage, and with my career. There were a lot of things that I just did not know played a part of me becoming a drug addict, you know, and I learned those things about myself, and I had to learn to face things. I had to learn to feel. I had to learn to grow through the situation, not go through it. We had to grow through it, you know what I'm saying? Because we always come out the other side of things better than we were once we went into them, if we allow ourselves to go through it, you know. I don't know, I'm grateful to this place, It's called Trinity House. I want to send a shout out to my therapist and my counselor, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Zaki, Fahim, Habib, Kojo, Ali, Adolfo. These are all of my brothers and my counselors and my therapist while I was going through this program, Like I said, it was an Afrocentric program. It's something that they developed called the Kalanji Brotherhood, and it was an all male facility. And Kalanji means men of victory. And I'll never forget. Once you're in there for once you're in the program for 90 days, you have the option of doing a name change, right? And it's you don't have to. It's totally up to you. It's your choice. And I made the decision to do it. And it's funny because when you go in, you're being analyzed and you're being watched, and what I'm saying, people are paying attention to your character and your disposition, and what I'm saying, who you are beyond the addict, And I was always the kind of person who I got high by myself, what I'm saying. Well, when it came down to to the extracurricular things, like when it came down to like the crack and all the stuff that I was ashamed to that my other friends weren't doing, what I'm saying. And now I smoke what they call a paper pipe. I used to lace my weed with crack, But it got to a point to where I wouldn't even smoke weed if it didn't have it in it. And if I didn't have the weed, I just put it in a cigarette. What I'm saying? I was out there. What I'm saying? But I want to say what's up again to somebody coming in. No, I want to say what's up again to I just lost my train of thought. You want to go in the house? Hold on, y'all. You want to go? Nobody in here? Nobody's in here. Come on out here. Come back out here. Hold on, y'all. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to let the dog in. But anyway, I want to send another shout out to Zaki, because Zaki, he was a brother that gave me my Kalanji name. He decided to name me Chuma Osahar Kalanji, and he gave me that name because Chuma in Swahili, it's a Swahili name. It means God sees. And Osahar means God hears. Kalanji, which means men of victory. So my Swahili name was Chuma Osahar Kalanji, which means God sees, God hears, men of victory. And when I did this name change, he told me that he gave me that name because I was the kind of person that thought that I could get away with doing things because no one could see me doing them. And that name would always remind me that whatever it is that I think that I'm doing in hiding or in private, that the Most High, God, the universe, knows what I'm doing. And I can't hide. I can't hide from God, It's this old saying that says, no matter where I go, there I am. you know. Um, so I had to take that very, very serious and understand that, I can't think that I'm gonna, do one thing in the dark and pretend to be someone else in the light, you know. So I'm very, very grateful to that program because it helped me a lot. But like I said, this could actually be 12 years instead of 10, because when I came out of the program in 2000 in 2010, because I had been in there for 2 years. It was the early part of 2010, September, right? No. I take that back. Early part of early part of 2010, I was, I'd been out, and I'd had, everything was fine. I had a nice job. I had an apartment. Just living life. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I relapsed. I relapsed because I wasn't honest with my sobriety and who I was, at that time. I was living I was living a double life, you know what I'm saying? And so I relapsed. And when I relapsed in September of 2010. And I'm sorry, 2009. And 2009. And I was out there once again from September the 1st. And I actually made a conscious decision. I said, I'm about to go get high. It was September the 1st. And I was out there 7 months, from September to May, and I remember it being May, early May, and May 4th of 2010. I told myself I wanted to be clean and sober for Mother's Day. I didn't want my mother to see me high again, ever again. And that's the reason why I decided to change my life, and it was for me. It was for me that time, and that's what makes all of the difference. The first time I did it, I understood, as far as getting clean and going through the process and going through the program. The first time I did it more or less for my family. I did it for my wife and my kids. And once I came out of the program, I didn't get the response. I didn't get the support that I thought that I was going to get. From my wife at the time. But I had to take responsibility for what I had done and how much I had taken her through. And I had to accept the fact, that me being on drugs, I drug her. I drug her. And I had to take responsibility for the role that I played in in my marriage failing, and me not really being the father that I could have been or should have been. So I resorted into some other things to kind of get the attention that I thought that I should have gotten from my wife, and it didn't work out, because there's one thing that I learned while I was in the program, is that our secrets keep us sick, and I was keeping a secret, a big one, and I couldn't hold it down. I couldn't hold it down and actually stay sober, so I had to suppress it. I had to push it down with something else. So that's why I relapsed. And but I got through it, and it's been 10 years. 10 years clean and sober, baby. And my life has been nothing but blessings since then. I've gone places, man. I've seen parts of this world that I could have never imagined, places that I'd never heard of, through the God-given talent that, that he bestowed upon me. You know what I'm saying? Through my voice, through my gift of singing, He gave me, just awesome opportunities to travel the world and sing. And, you know, I was one of those people that would walk. I would walk miles and miles and miles and miles just to go and get one more and come back and, get high and go back again. And I'm just walking, walking hundreds and hundreds of miles, over a period of time, of course, to becoming a person that God just sent all the way across the world, and that's one high you really just can't beat that, so I'm truly grateful, truly grateful for the opportunities and, that God has given me. He's put me on stages in front of thousands and thousands of people and given me the opportunity to sing and perform every weekend, and make money and be responsible and pay my bills and take care of my kids and the important things. I'm kind of an extreme kind of person. I guess that's the reason why when I do these posts about me walking 6 miles and and exercising the way that I did is because I have to put the same type of energy into my health, my physical and mental and spiritual health, that I did when I was, the same level of energy that I put into getting high and doing drugs and drinking and partying the way that I did. So, like for instance, because I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to smoke cigarettes all the time. I started smoking cigarettes when I was like 16 years old. And that was really kind of the hardest things for me to do, to stop smoking cigarettes after doing the drugs, So I got to the point to where I said, okay, what I'm going to do is whenever I feel like I want to smoke a cigarette, I'm just going to drop and just do 20, 25 push-ups, because it's the opposite of inhaling tobacco and all of the toxins that come in smoking cigarettes and things like that. Just drop, you do 25 push-ups and you get up and you breathe in deeply and you appreciate that full breath. And so that got me through the extreme of that, so because the extreme of smoking was exercising, and the extreme of drinking alcohol was drinking water, so that's just how I did it. I was extreme with it, and it got me through. It still gets me through, because I enjoy working out, I enjoy exercising. Now my knees don't allow me to run like I used to. I used to run a lot, but my knees is kind of jacked up. So I just walk, I power walk, and I just get those push-ups in because exercise, this is our temple, we got to take care of ourselves, we take care of ourselves and, God takes care of us, that's really how it works, I'm living proof of that, because once I really started to take care of myself, he started to just open up doors for me and opportunities, and they still keep coming, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful, man. So, what I've been talking now for 23 minutes. It's probably the longest video I've probably ever done. I'm not really much of a talker, to be perfectly honest with y'all. I'm kind of an observer, so I'll kind of, I watch things and I pay attention to things, and I'll say something here and there. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to just share that with you guys. And if you have someone, if you know someone who has substance abuse issues, don't give up on them. If you can, try to get them some help. And sometimes, tough love is the best love. Sometimes you just kind of gotta let them hit that bottom. And for them to really realize that, that they have to, get themselves together. That had to happen to me. I'm grateful, for my ex-wife at the time, because, she had to look into some things to get me the help. But nonetheless, if I did not want to get the help, it would not have even mattered. I had to want to, change my own life, and that's really what really matters. But if you do know anyone who has, substance abuse issues, I pray for them. You pray for them. Um, and just hope that God will pull them through. Because drugs ain't no joke, man. It ain't no joke. It's no joke, man. So yeah, just wanted to share that with y'all. May 4th, 2020, 10 years clean and sober, baby. So y'all enjoy y'all's day, and I'm gonna go get me 10 more from this point on. All right, y'all take it easy. Love y'all.